In today's video, we are going over the pros and the cons of living here in Kerrville, Texas. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This channel is all about helping you achieve your real estate dreams here in the Texas Hill Country. Like I mentioned, today's video is all about the pros and the cons of living here in Kerrville, Texas. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this video off with a pro. So pro number one, we have one of the most popular rivers in Texas going right through the middle of Kerrville, the Guadalupe River. It actually stretches about 250 miles across Texas. And one of the coolest things about our river, the Guadalupe River going through Kerrville, is the Lewis Hayes Park. And we have all kinds of things going down there. We have festivals, we have concerts. They have all kinds of fitness groups that do their things down there. You can rent kayaks, you can get canoes, paddle boards, all kind of really cool things. And you have the river trail as well, which stretches about 6 miles going one way. So you can get about a 12-mile run, walk, bike, just on the river trail alone. And then Lewis Hayes Park itself has multiple pavilions. So if you have some kind of gathering you need to put together, a family event, graduation party, a baby shower, whatever the case may be, there are multiple pavilions available to rent out throughout the day. And again, we have concerts going on. One of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest Texas musicians is Robert Earl Keen Jr. And he puts on a great show right around the 4th of July weekend. But you do have multiple options when it comes to pavilions and different festivals and concerts to go to there at the Lewis Hayes Park. Okay, so con number one, property taxes. It is no secret that we have higher property taxes here in Texas, but in correlation to the rest of the state and the United States, our property taxes are fairly high here in Kerrville. So to give a quick example, if you have, we'll just base it off the median sales price, which is $320,000, you can expect a 1.5% property tax rate for the outside of the city limits and a 2.1% tax rate for inside the city limits. So what you basically need to do is multiply that $320,000 by either 1.5% if you're outside of the city limits, or by 2.1% if you are inside the city limits, and that will get you what your property taxes will be for that year. Now, there are a couple things that can help out to reduce that tax rate for the year. You have your homestead exemption, which if this is your primary residence, you definitely need to do that at the beginning of the year, apply for your homestead exemption. But say if you are a disabled veteran, there are some benefits that come along with that as well. 50% and above, you have a certain amount that will be taken off of that total amount for the year. And if you're 100% medically disabled from the VA or from the military, but through the VA, you actually do not pay for property taxes if this is your primary residence. Okay, with that being said, you do need to make sure to account for your property taxes for the end of the year. So a lot of these mortgage companies or mortgage calculators, they may not show you what your total monthly payment will be at the end of the day. So what you need to do is count for your mortgage payment, your taxes, your insurance, pile that all together, and what any other expenses you may possibly have, your utility bills, everything like that, internet, everything that goes into living in a home here in the Hill Country. You need to pile that all together and see if you can afford a house for $320,000, $600,000, $200,000, whatever the case may be. But make sure you know what your property taxes are going to be. Okay, so let's go back to another positive, pro number two. So one of the coolest things I really enjoy most about living here in the Texas Hill Country is the wineries. So the wineries and the breweries. So just between Kerrville and Fredericksburg alone, we have 4 separate wineries that you can enjoy that are conveniently, you could probably get to them. The furthest one away is Slate Mill. I would say maybe take 15 to 20 minutes to get there. The second one is going to be Augusta Bend, and it takes maybe 12 to 15 minutes to get there. After that, you're going to have Santa Maria Cellars, and we're moving from Fredericksburg coming this way. So you have Santa Maria Cellars right after that. And then the closest one to Kerrville is going to be the Kerrville Hills Winery. And after that, we actually have 2 different wineries inside town. So we have Turtle Creek, which they have wine from all over the state and all over the country. They have some delicious charcuterie boards and all kinds of good stuff over there. But you also have Wine About It, which is 100% Texas grown grapes and wine. So if you want to maybe kind of consider a brewery, what we do have in Kerrville is you have Pint and Plow, which is great. They have all kinds of great food and great beer. The second one is going to be Basement Brewers, which they just have beer, but they have some of the best beer I've ever had in my life, craft beer. And we actually have 2 more breweries coming to Kerrville here within the next 6 months or so. Okay, so going back to the cons, con number 2. We do not really have a nightlife here in Kerrville, Texas, to be perfectly honest. We have a handful of bars, maybe it's less than 10 bars here in Kerrville. And to be honest, there's only maybe 1 or 2 of those bars that stay open past 12 o'clock. So if you're the type of person that likes to get out there, party, dance, really socialize with people late at night, Kerrville may not be the place for you, because we just do not have a nightlife here in Kerrville. There's a couple places you can go dancing, square dancing, waltzing, all that type of stuff. Into the Hills is one of them. Also Gravity Check, which is not really considered Kerrville. It's in between Kerrville and Bandera, but they do have live bands out there all the time. They have some great food and a great environment to go dancing. But again, if you're looking for a town that has a great nightlife, Kerrville may not be the place for you. Okay, pro number 3, we have a university here in Kerrville. So Schreiner University has been around for over 90 years, was first established in 1923, and it's a private Presbyterian university. So one of the things that you kind of maybe need to know about Schreiner University, there's over 40 undergraduate programs, 3 master programs, and just kind of give an idea of what you'll be expecting after you get any type of aid. You're probably looking about $20,000 per year to go to school here at Schreiner University. And they actually also have several different sports for men and women. So to start off with the men, you have baseball, basketball, cross country, track and field, golf, tennis, men's wrestling. And on the women's side, you have basketball, cross country, soccer, golf, tennis, track and field, volleyball, and also women's wrestling. So if you want a university that's it's rated greatly across the United States for the education programs, but also a school that has sports, Schreiner University just may be a place to settle down, to have your kids go to and get a great education. Con number 3 of living in Kerrville is our property values. So if you compare it against the rest of the state of Texas, our property values are higher. Our median sales price for 2021 is about $320,000. And to put that in perspective on a month-to-month basis, if you put about 5% down on a $320,000 sales price and you have a 3.5% interest rate, you're looking at about an $1,800 a month mortgage payment. Of course, that does include your taxes and insurance. But again, if you're comparing that to the rest of the state of Texas, you are paying quite a bit more. And according to bestplaces.com, the average household income for Kerrville is $40,000 a year, and the average hourly rate is about $16 an hour, which comes out to about $30,000 a year. So what you want to make sure to do is put pen to paper and make sure that $1,800 a month is affordable. You're not overextending yourself at the end of the day. Okay, now it's time for the question of the day. What is your opinion of the pros and cons of living here in Kerrville, Texas? Make sure you put it down in the comments below. And if you're thinking about moving to Kerrville, make sure you watch my next video, 10 things you should know before moving to Kerrville, Texas. Hey guys, my name is Ryan with the Rendon Realty Group. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, but also the bell at top so you can get notified anytime I put out great videos just like this one. We'll see you next time.